habits aging you the fastest right now are the ones you have been doing every single morning for years and never once questioned. Coffee first, light breakfast, vitamins, a morning walk, then straight into the day. Every single one of those, done the wrong way at the wrong time, can increase inflammation, spike your stress hormones, and make your body work directly against you after 50. And the reason most women never connect the dots is because these habits feel responsible. They feel like discipline. They feel like exactly the kind of choices that should be helping. So before you do any of them again tomorrow morning, stay right here. Because after 50, your body runs on completely different rules. And once you see those rules clearly, you cannot unsee them. Here is what the wellness world almost never says directly. After 50, your estrogen, progesterone, cortisol, and insulin are all running on a new biological baseline. A fundamentally different one than your body used in your 30s and 40s. And habits that were genuinely good for you back then can produce the exact opposite effect now. More inflammation, higher stress hormones, more energy crashes, worse sleep, harder fat loss, not because you are doing something wrong. Because the formula changed and nobody told you. That is what this video corrects. 5 habits. The real biology behind each one. Kept simple, kept clear, no wasted time. Stay through habit 3. That one specifically stops women cold, especially women who already think of themselves as health conscious. Habit 1. Drinking coffee as the very first thing you consume in the morning. Almost every woman over 50 does this. The coffee goes on before anything else happens, before food, before water, sometimes before fully walking across the room, and the intention makes complete sense. Coffee works. It gives energy. It clears the fog. But here is what is actually happening inside the body during that first cup on a completely empty stomach. Caffeine directly stimulates cortisol production. That is part of why coffee creates the feeling of alertness. It triggers a mild stress response in the body. The problem is that cortisol already peaks naturally in the morning. It is highest in the first 30 to 60 minutes after waking, and that peak exists for a reason. It is the body's built-in system for shifting into an alert, ready state. When coffee is added directly on top of that natural cortisol peak, with nothing in the stomach to slow the process, it can push cortisol significantly higher than the body needs it to go. At the same time, caffeine on an empty stomach can signal the liver to release stored glucose, causing a blood sugar spike that has nothing to do with eating. When that spike drops, which it does quickly, the result can be shakiness, irritability, sudden difficulty focusing, or a deep craving for something sweet by mid-morning. Before menopause, estrogen helped regulate how cortisol behaved and buffered blood sugar swings. That regulation is significantly reduced afterward. So the same cup of coffee that felt perfectly fine at 38 can create a completely different hormonal chain reaction at 55. Many women experiencing unexplained anxiety in the morning, energy crashes before 11 a.m., or intense carbohydrate cravings mid-morning have never connected those symptoms to the coffee they drank an hour earlier on an empty stomach. A small amount of food first, even something light with protein or fat, changes how the body processes caffeine entirely. Same coffee, completely different hormonal outcome. Habit 2, eating a light breakfast, fruit, yogurt, toast, or oatmeal. And believing that is enough, this breakfast sounds clean. It sounds balanced. For most of their lives, women have been told that a light, low-calorie morning meal is the disciplined, healthy choice. After 50, it may be quietly working against the body in ways that affect energy, metabolism, and muscle for the entire rest of the day. Here is the biology. After 50, the body's ability to build and maintain muscle from protein decreases. The body now needs more protein, delivered earlier in the day, to get the same result that required far less effort before. This matters enormously, and not just for strength. Muscle is the body's primary site for blood sugar regulation. The more lean muscle a woman maintains, the more stable her blood sugar stays throughout the day. That stability directly controls energy levels, mood, inflammation, sleep quality, and the body's ability to manage weight. When muscle mass declines, which happens faster after 50 than most women expect, blood sugar becomes harder to regulate. Energy becomes unpredictable. Inflammation becomes more persistent. Fatigue becomes harder to explain. A breakfast of fruit and toast with no meaningful protein source spikes blood sugar fast, produces a drop by mid-morning, and does almost nothing to protect muscle. Research consistently points to 25 to 40 grams of protein at the first meal as a meaningful target for women over 50. Eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, smoked salmon, real protein sources that give the body something to actually work with. The light breakfast is not a virtue after 50. It is a gap the body cannot afford. Now we are at the halfway point, and the next two habits are the ones most women have genuinely never been told about. Habit 4 in particular connects directly to belly weight, afternoon energy crashes, and inflammation that does not respond to diet changes. Stay with this. Habit 3. Taking vitamins and supplements first thing before eating anything. This one feels responsible. Consistent. The kind of daily discipline that should be paying off. But the timing creates a problem that quietly cancels out a significant portion of what those supplements are supposed to do. Vitamin D, vitamin K, vitamin A, vitamin E, and most omega-3 supplements require fat to be present in the digestive system to be absorbed properly. Without dietary fat, these nutrients pass through without being fully used. For women over 50, vitamin D is especially critical. It is linked to bone density, immune function, mood regulation, and the management of inflammation throughout the body. It is also one of the most commonly deficient nutrients in women over 50, and one of the most commonly supplemented. The irony is that many women taking vitamin D every single morning are still testing deficient. Not because the supplement is wrong, but because it is being taken at the wrong time, with nothing in the stomach to support absorption. Taking these vitamins with food, even a small meal that includes eggs, avocado, nuts, or olive oil, can dramatically improve how much of that supplement the body actually absorbs and uses. This single change in timing, with no change in what you take, can meaningfully shift what your body actually receives from the supplements you are already paying for. Habit 4. Going for a morning walk or exercising before eating anything. Morning movement is valuable. For women over 50, regular physical activity is one of the most powerful tools available for managing weight, inflammation, mood, and long-term health. That is not up for debate, but exercising before eating, even a brisk walk, creates a specific hormonal sequence in a body without estrogen that younger women can recover from easily and older women often cannot buffer as well. In the morning, cortisol is already at its natural daily high. When physical activity is added before eating, the body has no external fuel coming in, so it signals the liver to release stored glucose to power the movement. That blood sugar spike, followed by a rapid drop once exercise ends, can trigger strong hunger, deep carbohydrate cravings, and low energy that settles in and stays most of the morning. Most women interpret this as a willpower problem. It is a hormonal response to an unsupported physical demand. Before menopause, estrogen helped regulate how the body recovered from this kind of cortisol and blood sugar sequence. That buffer is reduced afterward. Without it, morning exercise on an empty stomach can leave cortisol elevated for longer, increase muscle breakdown rather than protect it, and make fat storage around the abdomen more likely, not less. Even a small amount of protein before movement changes how the body responds. Same walk, same distance, same effort. The hormonal outcome can be meaningfully different with something as simple as a small portion of Greek yogurt or 2 eggs eaten beforehand. Habit 5. Starting every morning immediately in motion. Busy, reactive, and already behind, this one does not look like a health habit at all. It looks like productivity, like a full life, like being needed and on top of things, but it has a direct biological cost for women over 50 that compounds quietly over time. When the morning begins in reactive mode, mentally running the list, feeling the urgency, moving fast from the first moment, the body's cortisol does not get the chance to come down from its natural morning peak. It stays elevated. The body remains in a sustained mild stress state from the very first minutes of the day. Over weeks and months, that pattern affects sleep quality, afternoon energy, inflammatory markers, digestive function, and the body's ability to manage weight, particularly around the midsection, which becomes more vulnerable after menopause. Estrogen actively helped regulate the nervous system's stress response. It had a calming effect on how cortisol behaved across the day. Without that regulation, a rushed and reactive morning now costs the body significantly more than it ever did before. Even 10 to 15 minutes of protected stillness before the demands begin, before the phone, before the list, before urgency takes over, can shift the entire cortisol pattern for the day. Not a luxury, not self-indulgence. A biological need that genuinely changed after 50, and that the body is asking for whether the mind recognizes it or not. None of this requires a dramatic overhaul. Pick one thing from this list, the one that sounds the most like your actual morning. Change it for 2 weeks and pay attention, not to the scale, not to a number, to how you feel at 3 in the afternoon, to how easily you fall asleep, to whether the afternoon energy crash comes as hard. Your body after 50 is not declining, it is recalibrating. And when you understand what it is asking for now, you stop feeling like something is wrong with you, and you start working with the body you actually have. If this helped you today, share it with a woman in your life who has been blaming herself for feeling tired and not knowing why. And the next video covers what is actually driving chronic inflammation in women over 50, and the specific patterns that may help quiet it down without medication, without extreme diets, and without starting over. It is right there waiting for you.